Hello, and welcome to Hard Won Truths, a channel where I talk about anything and everything, from lifestyle to beauty to spirituality to every discipline of science. So, today we're going to talk about casting spells. Now, I know everybody's going to either run away from this because they think this is ridiculous, or they're going to expect me to talk about some sort of one size fits all. You have to do it this way, you have to do it that way. And that's pretty much like a religion, and that's not how we do things. Everybody has an individual way of being, an individual personality, an individual direction they like to go in. Everybody is different from one another when it comes to what they associate things with, what they need, their psychological structures. So we're going to talk about casting spells in a scientific way. Because if it is truly spiritual, it will be scientific. Because metaphysics is based on science. So the laws of the physical universe are also the laws of the metaphysical universe. They both apply. So when we're talking about casting spells, we're talking about attracting something to us. Yes, we're talking about receiving an outcome that we want. Generally, people think of love spells, fertility spells, things like that. And love spells, I'm going to say, you know what? Unless the person's actually attracted to you and you have something in common, please don't do that. You're trying to force somebody to do something against their will. It's different if you're saying, I really wish that this person would notice me because I am really interested in them as a person. Now that's a spell that you could cast. But you can't say, I want this person to love me like I love them, because if they don't love you, then you're trying to force them to do something against their will, which is an absolute violation of natural law. You can't. Free will is fully evident for every single existent structure, including atomic components. It's their choice which direction they go in, and it's everybody's choice which direction they go in. So don't try to rob anybody of their free will and their own ability to make choices. That's the first rule. The second rule is don't ever sacrifice something, because that kind of spell is a very nasty spell. That would be what you would call dark magic, but really it's a dark law of attraction, because if you kill something, you're going to attract the consequences of that. What's going to float back to you is going to reflect the fact that you have done something like that. And generally, the people who are willing to do things like that are looking for money and power and fame and that sort of thing. They can be in satanic cults. They can just be people who believe that killing something is going to attract them a result that they really want. And so we're talking about attraction here. So what I'm really talking about is the law of attraction. It has to do with magnetism. Magnetism is a great crossover between the metaphysical world and the physical world, because magnetism is one of those intangible forces that can't really be felt but does exist. And because of magnetism, there is a physical law that says you attract what you are asking to attract. Your vibration attracts what you need to attract in direct proportion to what you feel, what you're putting out there, how you think about yourself, all of that. So the same applies if you're going to cast a spell. You're trying to attract an outcome or a situation, and you want to do a kind of ritualized, my goodness, frogs are in my throat today, a consequence of MS. But what you want to do is a ritualized projection to enhance your chances of attracting something, right? So we're going to do this with voice cracks and everything. I really literally don't care. This happens to me sometimes. It's a multiple sclerosis thing. So when you're trying to cast a spell, you're going to want to pick things that are associated with what you're trying to attract, right? Now, there's no cut and dry formula for this. You can use whatever you feel is best for any particular spell. Suppose I wanted to attract, let's say, kindness from the universe. So to me, I have to think of what things represent kindness, you know. I would go with pink and white and green and blue. Those things mean kindness and healing to me. And then I would essentially, this is saying a prayer more or less, which means that you're just asking the great unknown to help you out. And you're using this ritualized focus to really get the attraction that you're going for, to enhance that flavor of attraction. So, like I said, I want to attract kindness from the universe. I'm thinking, okay, why don't I get a white candle? And I can light this white candle and focus on the flame while I say my simple prayer for kindness, my ritual, my spell that I'm going to be doing to ask for kindness in return. I might even add in a little something to enhance it, like rose quartz. Rose quartz I do associate with sweetness and kindness and care. And I could put that next to my candle and I could focus on that. I could hold it if that's what makes me feel better about it. I can wear it around my neck for a while to attract further past the spell. And really, this is honestly just going to be a set of objects you've collected that feel to you like what you're trying to attract. So if you're trying to attract someone's attention, to get them to notice you and see that you really are liking them, you are attracted to them, then maybe you want to use a red candle. Maybe that symbolizes that to you. Maybe you want to go for a different kind of stone. Maybe you want to go for like a red jasper, you know. You can use that sort of thing for attraction. I'm not going to say love because you know you cannot do a spell to make someone love you. All right? That's just not it. When it comes to fertility, I would definitely focus on green. You can use jade for that, like this color, jade, you could use. You could lay it over your womb if you have a womb, and you could focus on a flame from a green candle while you were doing that, and then you would just ask, please make me fertile. Make it as simple as possible because you're just going to want to you're putting this vibration out and enhancing it with a few objects. Don't go too far with the objects. You'll get confused. You don't want to get confused. You want to keep this very simple. The simpler, the better. And we do these rituals for all kinds of things. You could do a ritual to ask for someone to go gently when they're passing away. I would definitely use blue for that. Blue candle, blue stone, blue anything, you know. If what you find attractive for a spell is cloth, you know, silky soft, a certain color, you can wear that, you can hold that, you can focus on that. This is all about the individual and what the individual wants to attract by law of magnetism. And the simple thinking of thoughts is going to start that process because thoughts do vibrate outside of your head. You know, they do pass through the bone. They are a vibration and a wavelength. And then they go outside to further impact upon the air molecules, which will then shift. And as a consequence, you will receive a return on that. Actually, it's a physical law that what you think is what you get, because your thoughts actually impact upon the atoms in the air, thus causing a displacement, thus guaranteeing a return. It's actually the third law of motion. It's for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. You use that too in conjunction with the law of attraction via magnetics, and they both feed into one another. It's really just you reap what you sow. Using that reference, and you're really going to try to concentrate on positive things when you're doing these ritual spells. You are not going to want to concentrate on negative consequences, such as hurting somebody, harming somebody, asking for negative consequences for them. If you do that, you know you are risking negative consequences for yourself. And the more negative you get with the colors, then the more negative the return is. I mean, if you're going to use black crow feathers and a black candle and a piece of obsidian and a knife, and you put all that in front of you and concentrate on that as a ritual, the return you're going to get is very different from if you use a white candle and a piece of quartz and a white feather. Those things will get you a very, very different return. And I wouldn't advise feathers, in all honesty. I know people do like to use them, but the honest scientific truth is that they do have bacteria and little creatures that lived in the bird's feathers. So unless you're steaming these things for a long time and you've gotten them specially, please don't use found bird feathers. It's not a good idea. It really isn't. If you really want to enhance this, what you'll want to do is go search for the objects, whether it's at a store or whether it's on a walk. On a walk is the most natural way to find it. You know, you find a stone that catches your attention, you find whatever, you know, you're just on the lookout for things that are going to help you perform this ritual. And you could even just drive to a store that your intuition tells you will have things that you need for this ritual that you're trying to accomplish. Say you want to win a contest, you know, you've entered a contest and you really believe that you should and you can and you will win this. So you're going to need to pick out objects that help you to put that vibe out. You know, what would we say winning is? Winning is maybe yellow. Yellow is certainly a very happy, cheerful, sunshiny color, but it's whatever symbolizes winning something to you. To me, it would be a kind of yellow sort of thing. So I would use yellow candles. I would use topaz or tiger's eye, you know, something special like that, that feels slightly fierce and at the same time kind, so that you're not trying to run over everybody to win this competition. You're just trying to win it because you believe you would do good after having won this competition. These little rituals are something that you can simply think of. You don't have to do them with the objects, but the objects are definitely going to enhance the spell. So I've listed fertility, I've listed attraction, I've listed kindness, I've listed winning. I mean, we only have so many colors to work with in the spectrum, right? Purple is like a deep magical color. It's the very last color before you hit black and then return to red in the color spectrum. And it is like the color of dreaming, the color of mysticism. So if what you want is to increase your spiritual connection, then I would advise using purple. I think I've covered everything except for maybe orange. Orange could also be a part of winning a competition. But again, it depends on exactly how you see these colors and exactly what objects you like. I mean, I personally like pearls. A lot of people don't like pearls, but I find pearls comforting and I find that they represent hope to me. So I use them in that way, in a hopeful way, and I wear them as a part of a consistent ritual to always attract hope to myself. Because of my situation in life, hope is scarce. So I have lived a very rough life. I have had a lot happen to me in my lifetime, and a lot of it was not good. So having severe PTSD, as I do, I like to wear my ritual because it gives me comfort. And I hold this and I pray for hope. And then sometimes I will actually get that rose quartz out with a pink candle and hold the rose quartz in my hand and look at the candle flame with the pink candle in a dark room and pray for more hope and more kindness, because that is what I need in my life. Now, you will need whatever you will need. You know, when I mentioned the competition, like this, yeah, right. You know, winning a competition, this one feels pretty fierce, like a tiger, like a lion. You know, you want to be fierce in a competition and win it. So there's that. I mean, a lot of people have certain rituals, which is the same as spellcasting, like baseball players, remarkably superstitious, right? So their little rituals they do are sometimes like eating a bucket of chicken or, whistling 3 times and spitting on the ground. And, those are all ways of trying to attract what you want, but they are more superstitious than anything else. You don't want to have that heavy weight of, this is a superstition and I have to do it, because you kind of lead into OCD that way. So you want to make this light and gentle, simple and easy. Easy. Casting spells should not be difficult. It should not take a long time. It should be simple. You can use salt too for some rituals, pink Himalayan crystal salt for the kindness, It's also cleansing. Salt represents cleansing. Why? Because if you put it down on the ground, it's going to kill everything in its path. And you also need it as an electrolyte. So all of those things add into the meaning of using salt in a ritual. And that's another thing that you have to think of, is the actual physical components of the objects you're using, the minerals that are a part of them. If you're using your stones, then they're going to have certain minerals. Look it up, Google it, and find out what minerals they have in them and see why that would be attractive to you. It'll actually help you understand chemistry better. At the same time, chemistry is all full of the law of attraction. That's how atoms bond into molecules, It's a very big part of life. And so you're just using that particular scientific law to perform a spell or perform a ritual. However you want to look at it, you're really just enhancing the attraction. So whatever you think will enhance the attraction for what you're doing. And I want you to think about this as an individual, because no one can tell you exactly what to do for the spell you want to cast. That's very tailored to you as a person and to the situation. So you are going to pick out your own objects for your own rituals. This is a spiritual test. Can you do it? Can you have faith that you've picked out the correct things? Of course you will pick out the correct things, because you cannot help but pick out what you need, because it's what you're attracted to. And that will enhance the attraction you're trying to put out there for something else. So this is what you do when you're on the spiritual path and you're trying to learn how to enhance your connection to intuition, to the universe, and to the law of attraction. So I want you all to develop some rituals, some spells for yourselves. I expect to see some great things from people out there doing kind spells. And so with that, if you liked this, then like this, comment, subscribe, and I will see you beautiful people later.